Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and this is a Bitcoin all-time high hit yesterday. We talked about these levels, and I said, look, we got resistance there in July. We got resistance that took place there in, where is it, June? And we had resistance that took place in May. And if we're going to go up to this level of this platinum pocket, why are we not going to grab liquidity from those 3 months of resistance? And if we're going to be that high, why not make a new all-time high? That's what we talked about yesterday, guys. And exactly as predicted. That's where we went. So watching that price now, we are getting a pullback. I am in a short. I shorted yesterday at $112,000. I had it set for 112,100. Didn't quite reach there, so I jumped on it and said I'm going to chase this. Yeah, that's what we're watching today, guys. A little bit of a sell-off here, coming off of the highs, new all-time high yesterday. Let's see what the bubbles are looking like here on the hourly. We are seeing a little mixed market going on. Bitcoin still up 1.3% on the daily, but Ethereum, OC, it's up 4.5%, bro. So we're going to have to take a look at all that. Going to talk about an article, and plus, as the thumbnail says, and the title, has the bull run just begun? We've got to talk about that. So $137,000 target there from the Titan of crypto. And we got an analyst saying that the bull run has just started. So we're going to break all this down and a whole lot more today right here on the Piper Academy Network. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Grab a notebook. Someone locked that back door. No one's coming in to class. They missed it unless they get approved by Daniel Barnes. And then, yeah, let's go. Class is in session. All right, guys, welcome to the Morning Market Report. Let's jump over here. Give a shout out to my co-host. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the Mexican Superman. What's up, OC? How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. Today is a good day. Yesterday on the Hackers, we were calling out a couple of shorts, and you mentioned, well, where should we be shorting, right? And well, I did take a short right there. It happened to be the very tippy top. It actually surprised me a little there, and it play out fantastic. So I actually took profits yesterday, same day, and I'm looking for it flagging out. So, based on the past classes, I do have a plan A and plan B, and it seems like I was actually looking for plan A to play out, but plan B it's now playing out. So, if you guys missed out the pump, be a little patient. We might have another possible entry here for you guys in a couple of days. Yes, hopefully it does, and yeah, that would be also my next entry. But doing
Absolutely.
pretty good. How's that sunburn doing?
It's getting better. It's almost smoothed out. It chilled. So, life on the boat, life on the lake life. So, um, I love it. Thanks, Daniel Barnes. I appreciate you. I was talking about the looking through the Nextdoor app, right, about Rockwall, Texas, and it said that Rockwall, Texas was the Redneck Riviera. Now, I know the Redneck Riviera is in like Alabama or Mississippi or something like that, but being out there on the lake, I got to say, there is a little bit of a Redneck Riviera-ish thing going on here. So I don't know. It's pretty funny. A lot of Karens. There's a lot of Karens in Rockwall and there's a wives war in Rockwall. So if you guys don't know, Rockwall is split by two zip codes. We're 75087, and then there's another one. And it's funny because wives will go to the high school football game here, because if you know anything about Texas, high school football is life, and they have the yellow jackets here. But they will wear shirts with like 087 on their shirt and stuff to let the other wives know that they are from the higher income area of Rockwall. It's pretty sad, man. It's pretty sad. But hey, yeah, Wives War. Shout out to Alex O, Crypto, and the gang. They just rolled in on us. I just watched my numbers jump up. There's a big hole in the wall now, the side of the academy. We got overran by otters. So shout out to the Otter gang. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's jump over and check out the chat. Give everybody a shout here. Alex O, Crypto with a with a 17-month super chat. He said, the gang's coming through. Yes, sir, you are. The gang is rolling in, man. We got Baba Yaz in here. Alexander G, the mod queen. Andrea is in here with us. JR, username, I did miss you. Robert Mulligan. Darren Dust needs the DDT. Ricky Ricardo. Lucy, you have some splaining to do. Is in the house with us. Daniel Barnes, appreciate you being here. Crypto Coin Mindset, that's Keith in here with us. Who else we got? Everybody. Two Dub is in here with us. We appreciate you, Two Dub. Wix Wi-Fi 89. If you guys don't know who Two Dub is, so you can drop those WWs down there in the chat and give her some love. Who else we got? I see BC Port Corp in here early in. He dropped in, and now we got Baba Yaz and everybody rolling up here. I had a question here from we had a question from Ricky Ricardo. He said, "Do I think that XRP can be worth more than Bitcoin in the long run, decades, considering that it's poised to be the chosen crypto of ISO 20022 standards for banking, derivatives, so on and so forth?" Um, anything's possible. It's crypto. Let's be honest. First of all, Bitcoin may not even be Bitcoin. Decades from now, something else may come out that's superior in code writing and valuation holding, right? So, and it's possible, honestly. So, I don't know that if things stay as status quo as they are now, could that happen? Probably not. Bitcoin's still going to be the big store of value for institutions. But could it be the number two? Absolutely, it could. It's just a simple matter of what projects people choose to use for fintech. And so at the end of the day, anything can come along and replace that, but doesn't mean that that can't happen if it stays as is. So there you go. As status quo, sure, absolutely, man. I could see that. There's your answer. I'm open to whatever, man. I'm just here to ride the waves, Lunar Beaches style. Shout out to LBC if he's in here or watching this later on. So, all right, OC, let's go and check out. Let's go and check out the Bitcoin chart currently. I want you to pull that up. We're going to go into a quick run of news. We're going to come back, talk about some higher time frame stuff that I'm watching, why the Bitcoin bull run could just be starting, and why there's a $137,000 target coming into play from good old Titan of Crypto on X. So I want to go through all that. We're going to try to wrap the show up decently early today. Crypto Princess is doing a premiere this morning on Cassius Cuvée over there. So I want to go see what that video is all about. But OC, what do you got for us on Bitcoin right now, bro?
Absolutely. So this is, let me just zoom out and maybe try to clean up a little bit of the spaghetti here that I got going on. So let me go back a little bit in time and let's see if I can basically give you a little bit of a better perspective. Here it is. Ready for the spaghetti? Well, then we have a huge megaphone in here, right? So based on this megaphone, we were right on the median or very close to the median right here where we hit the all-time highs. In fact, if I click on it, let me see if I can grab it perfectly. And of course, I cannot change it, but let me pull it up and adjust it, right? So it passes over this area. It also will act as the support as it has been for a little while, right? So basically very close to our area of resistance in here. Let me just lock it so I can then zoom in. And well, as being below this center line from Megaphone, my first plan or was thinking that have a rejection out of the next resistance up in here, right? Let me zoom in now so we can see where we left out. There we go. So I was expecting to have a little bit of a resistance here, maybe 1-2 more bounces, and then because we were just weaving here in this zero line on the oscillator, well then time was ticking, and if we did not broke at the 1 or second chance, well then most likely we're going to be breaking down below, hitting the dynamic reactor of daily, and most likely just wicking back into our entry zone right down here. But well then we already acknowledge the plan B right here, right? So plan B was a straight breakout, and yeah, that's exactly what it did. Let me just turn off a couple of indicators in here so we can see clearly through. There we go. and turn on another ones in here, which are, there we go. Where is it? Oh, here it is, which are my predictive ranges. On predictive ranges, we'll have right away, right there, a predictive gray line right above us. And that's what I was looking for. If you take a look at my area of resistance, oh, not this one, right, this one, I was looking for having maybe a retracement, so breakout, retest, back at the golden, and then off we go, right? So yesterday live, we have a like unannounced breakout in here. Well, it wasn't an announced because we have a bullish divergence break through the zero line, but we didn't have a real retracement for an entry. It just went up in here, and as soon as we were hitting this area, we opened up a little short. I closed it as we retraced it a 50% poor man's. Let's go. There we go. Sorry, 50% pull. Yeah, Persian Fibonacci box. And by the way, it wasn't a 50%, it was a 1/3. There we go, like this one. And if I divide this in thirds, so we have the first third in here, second third, and last third. So that was my measurement to take on this first kind of retracement closed. So should I have kept it open? Well, so far we're back at it, right? And then a little higher. So I think I did a good decision yesterday closing this up. And for reference, remember that we are expecting either a pullback, right, to the golden line or a little flag. Something important that is happening is that we're creating a goose head. Usually, a goose head means that we're gonna have a slight retracement. This is a kind of like a weird goose head, a slight retracement, further continuation, and then big retracement, right? So, following the same logic, well, right now we have the little retracement for further continuation, and I could be aiming right here at the next resistance. If you take a look at here, this is plan B, and this plan B I have not yet touched. That's because it hits right here my next box. Why is it hitting this box? Because we have the purple line right there. Not only the purple line right there, if I turn on my other predictive ranges, there we go, we have another purple line up here. So the gap between those purple lines usually are a very nice area for rejection. So that's exactly where I'm aiming for my plan B. So be aware, because right now we are on the previous weekly high as a support, and we could be bouncing up from here, right? So just be careful. Keep your eyes on your oscillator. As soon as we start having that next possible flip of the ribbon like that, well, then it's your time to enter at support. And if you're entering right here, right, let me just move this out of the way because I'm going to be using that in a second. Long position, trying to get it somewhere around here, or better yet, somewhere around all the way down to here. But if you can, grab it from there, aim at this previous bottom, give yourself a little wiggle room, enter maybe with a quarter of a position or half of a position, and then be prepared if we need to jump back in. Where is it? Right here. So remember, the point is not getting trapped. If you get one stopped out, that's fine. Remember, in fact, we are doing a 1/4 entry and then a half of an entry here. But that's why we're adding this stop loss right there, just to prevent getting trapped in case we're going lower, so we don't need to re-add to that position. So far, this is the plan for today and tomorrow, because the weekend will be just hold and wait. I think low volume might be getting a little bit volatility, and at previous highs, not sure if I really want to be on that volatility.
Yep, I agree. Shout out to A to Ace joining us in here. And also, who did I see? Dave Digital, the double D's in the house with us. I appreciate you. Heart, Wave Cipher, all rolling in here. Appreciate everyone that is here right now. Guys, if you haven't done so, smash that like button. I know you guys hate hearing it.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
But we got like 100 people and like 25 likes. We're like 25% accuracy right now. That's not okay. Let's go ahead and check out what I got on the news side here, guys. Go through all this, and then we'll come back. We'll try to talk about why the bull run may just be starting, and then also take a look at a chart that Titan of Crypto put out. It's pretty similar to what OC was just showing, but on a higher time frame. And we'll talk about why a $137,000 Bitcoin is the next target. Also, break down some reasons, some confluence on why we probably are going higher from here right now, because everyone thinks we're going short. So there you go. Go against the crowd. Looking at the crypto market cap right now, guys, total crypto market cap, we are currently sitting at $3.46 trillion. The trend on this is sitting just above 4 trillion, 4.04 trillion, means currently we are undervalued in crypto, 14.35%. That's that red line. That's that blue price action right there on the total crypto market cap. Looking at Bitcoin's current wristbands, we're at 55.8% fear level, guys. What does this mean? What does this mean? Well, this means that we do a 2x DCA. We don't take profit until this thing hits 70. Okay, 70%. That is our take profit on the Piper plan, on the DCA Piper plan. And this is included with our great Discord membership, $5 a month. And you get, hey, this is how much you should be DCAing this month or this week. We do it weekly. And this is when we take profits. It's a DCA plan. So this is to answer the question in the chat from Baba Yaz. He said, am I diamond handsing any Bitcoin? No, I'm dollar cost averaging my Bitcoin weekly and following the Piper plan, bro. That's what we do. We follow the Piper plan. Let me get my ticker up there. There's no ticker at the bottom. There we go. Fixed. Looking here also, guys, at the other metrics that we have, the fear and greed index. We are at 71 right now, currently sitting in greed, getting close to 76. 76, we start going into extreme greed, and you know what that typically means. We're going to get a sell-off coming soon. Looking at the liquidations in the past 24 hours, 130,401 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at over $500 million. So $529.7 million, largest single liquidation order happened on HTX. It was Bitcoin. No big deal. No big deal. Just $51.5 million lost on a single trade. Someone thought they knew. They FAFO'd. They effed around and found out. So losing over $50 million on a single trade. Good job. Good job. Let's look at the crypto bubbles here today. On the daily, we got a lot of green, but like I said, on the hourly, starting to see a lot of pullback on some of these altcoins, especially. Bitcoin's currently sitting at $111,261. Is that right? That can't be right. Is that right? It is right. Holy crap. We're closing back in on that all-time high right now, evidently on the chart. So looking at this right now, we're up 1.8% on the daily. Ethereum up 4.9%, sitting at $2,790. It's only about $2,000 off from its all-time high. No big deal. Crypto Princess, we are redirecting to you today, lady. Right after we get done here. XRP up about 3% today, sitting at $2.44. What other big movers do we have here? I'm looking for the big ones. Dogecoin's up 4.1%. We got Hyperliquid up 6.2%. SWI is up 9.3%. It's at $3.23. That's a big mover. Chainlink, very far off from $800, especially 2% to the upside. If you know, you know. Avalanche is up 5%. HBAR is up 5.3%. And that pretty much rounds out the top 20 with Toncoin and Shiba Inu up 3 and 2% respectively. Looking at the stock market today, to make sure this is refreshed and clean. The TradFi side of the world, NASDAQ is down slightly, about 0.32%. S&P flat, 0% is what it's up. It's actually only 0.09. Okay, there we go. We've got a 0.02%. Dow Jones is up about 0.3%. Russell 2K is down. VIX is down. Not a lot of volatility right now in the markets. Take a look at the Europe markets last night. They were kind of mixed too. Look at the Asian markets, kind of mixed too. So it's not just the US. We've got these mixed markets going on, and this is all coming off of some new trade updates, which we're going to talk about in just a second. If we look at oil here, guys, right now oil is coming down from that $70 mark. It's at $67.24 per barrel, but natural gas is green today. Mixed markets there too. Gold is getting a little rally again. Again, this is from the trade news that just came out. Well, I guess it came out last night, but didn't just come out. But right now, yeah, we're looking at $3,326 gold. Silver is up $36.97. Copper, platinum, and palladium all to the upside, guys. Palladium up almost 4% today. So to the people last week asking me about platinum or palladium, and I said palladium. There you go. There's your proof in the pudding. That is what we have for the TradFi side today. Let's look at the economic calendar. We did have some jobs numbers. This is also helping with this this volatility right now because initial jobless claims, these are weekly unemployment filings, came out this morning. Was at 232. This is a revision. That's what that little number means. It went from 233 to 232. Okay. They were expecting to see 235, which would have been higher, 245,000 for the week, which would have been even higher. Guys, it came in at 227K. It was better than expected. This means that the labor market is still strong. This means that Jerome Powell and the Fed Reserve do not need to cut rates. That's what that means. Inflation not coming down as quickly. Job numbers are showing strong. They can just sit and wait at this point. And that is not making old Donald Trump happy. Matter of fact, there is a post here. Can't make this up. President Trump called for a 300 basis point rate cut, guys. When we talk about rate cuts, we're talking about 25 basis points, a quarter of a percent, maybe a 50 basis point, a half a percent. President Trump wants a 3% rate cut. Our Fed rate is at least 3 points too high, too late, is costing the U.S. Remember me telling you guys, I said the whole point of all of this pressure is because they need to refinance the federal debt. They need these rates to come down so the 10-year comes down so that the federal government can refinance debt. It's coming due. It's maturing, okay? Too late is costing the U.S. $360 billion a point per year in refinancing cost. No inflation. Companies pouring into America, the hottest country in the world, lower the rate. So, yeah, there you go, guys. I mean, this is 300 basis points would be the highest cut, the biggest cut we've ever had in history, okay? Donald Trump only cares about one thing right now, and that is refinancing our debt because they either have to pay a whole lot of money to pay it off because the loan has matured, so that's owed, or they have to refinance that debt. To refinance that debt, they need these rates down, or we pay this new interest rate for our interest rate on the loan. So what we're seeing here is an absurd call for lower rates. Like this is going to cost a lot more on the back end. Trust me. We do a 300 basis point rate cut. We're going to pay the difference of we the people. We're going to pay the difference of that rate cut. Through our everyday expenses. So be very careful there, guys. Hopefully this does not ever happen. And hopefully he doesn't get someone in there in the Federal Reserve that makes that a thing. So that would be horrible. All right, what else do we have here? Yeah, if you look at here at the likelihood of rate cuts, guys, we're looking at the FedWatch CME group calls here. Right now for July, we're at 93.3% chance no rate cuts. September, it's now 31% of no rate cut. In October is a 12%. So we're starting to see that sway back for October being the most likely. September is getting some good odds, but I think that October is when we see the first rate cut. Real crypto bull run just beginning, says an analyst, and here's why. Let's talk about this first. Actually, no, let's talk about this first, OC. Let's go over here and let's talk about this guy. And I want you to try to pull this up on your chart. He's looking at a daily here, OC. Okay. He's looking at a daily picture here. Let me see if I can make this bigger and we'll bring this in and we'll come over here to news cam with you and I both together. Here we go. And let's take a look at this target. Okay. There we go. Perfect. He's looking at a daily on Bitcoin and he's got this flag. Okay. Which cool. We got a flag going here. We've broken out of it, but he also has this pivot line of touches. You see here and here. This is the level that he's saying is coming in as resistance ahead of us. And that if we break that pivot level, then we have confirmed a breakout from that zone, a breakout from the flag, and that measured move would take us up to about $137,000. Let's go over and look at your chart and let's see um, how that looks. So you have that. Let me know when you got that built there and when you're ready. And what? Let's talk about the likelihood of this. Okay, let's go.
Perfect. So you got muted, by the way. It's pretty funny
What you got?
because in yesterday's session, we've been building our. I was talking about that we did build this up as we go. So it's not exactly. That's why I was so fast to have it. This is on the 4 hours. If we go to daily, we'll see that we also have dynamic reactor also right here marked in our support area. Let's just give it 1 second. There we go. Our dynamic reactor. So this is not a new thing. We've been on Trade with OC. We've been looking at this area for a long time. Something that I did not consider was this resistance. And that would look like, there we go. Let me zoom in here based on what I have as a resistance somewhere around the 113, not too far away from where we are. Let's go to the 4 hours because I think that will look a little bit better here, right? So far so good. I was right now I'm expecting a little bit of a flag out, maybe a dip to the other box, and this is just borrowing from Alex on crypto, of course. And I did try to make it a little pink, but it's purple. Ended up kind of like going over pinkish right there. Nonetheless,
We can't always get the pink box. OC. Some people hit the pink box. Some people do not. So.
absolutely. Sometimes it's a little bit more tan-ish, right? I know. All right. So basically, looking at this, I am expecting to have a little bit of resistance in here. That's what we were talking about, right? So this resistance, let's just get it out of the way. And not only that, having a BOS, which I'm right now getting out of, right? So this is the break of structure. If we're talking about smart money concepts, right? And after that break of structure, coming all the way up here, and look at that, we are very close from this trend line. But that is because there it is. We have our predictive range up there, right? So both of those are basically at the same area at this point. So I would rather say, yeah, this is going to be an interest area to bounce from. I mean, it's going to be a very dramatic area because we have already 3 points of confluence. And well, then we'll see how that plays out because depending on how big or how far or how much strength we have at the time of breaking this predictive range, well, then this resistance will either react or be inert to the movement. But it's truth that we have a lot of confluence between 114 and 112. So we have a big chunk in there of resistances. But yeah, that's how that looks so far.
Awesome. And yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that chart. I think that chart makes a lot of sense. He's even thrown in the, hey, here's your speed bump on this road to watch out for. But like you said, that's coming in right around 113, a little bit over that, I think is what I measured. But that's not too far off. So could that be the target that we're shooting for on this? And that becomes our next pullback point, very likely. But according to an analyst on X, we are going to talk, an independent analyst on X, they said, I think. We're going to talk about this. He says that the bull run is just beginning, OC. The real bull run is just beginning. Let's go talk about this. In a live stream broadcast on X, independent market technician, that's what I should call myself, an independent market technician, OC. I'm your independent market technician, your IMT right here on Piper Academy Network. Kevin, known online as Kev Capital TA, argued that crypto markets are only now entering what he called the real bull run, pointing to a confluence of technical signals, macroeconomic data, and intermarket correlations that he believes have not been fully appreciated by traders. The real bull run starts here. Kevin placed particular emphasis on the behavior of tether dominance. Shout out to all my tether dominance people out there. Geo, if you guys know on X, you guys follow him. He's talking about tether dominance all the time. And then the share of crypto market capitalization held in dollar pegged stablecoins. The analyst displayed two long-term logarithmic USDT charts, each showing an initial sharp decline, followed by what he described as a rising channel / bear flag. In both 2024 and the present structure, the measured move target of the pattern sits at 3.7%, It's really astonishing how this is kind of attempting to play out, stressing that any sustainable rally in risk assets will require that level to be reached. The two keywords that are going to be the most important words over the next couple of weeks are follow through. The follow through is going to be what we need to see. Just like that $137,000 target that we were talking about there. We're talking about this. Hey, look, we've got this level that's sitting there as resistance at 113. We really need to see that break OC retest and follow through in order for 137 to come to fruition, right? He then overlaid a macro descending triangle on a separate 2-week USDT dominance chart dating back to March 2020. Each time the 2-week stochastic RSI crossed downward, the dominance metric fell sharply, coinciding with periods of strength in Bitcoin and altcoins. The latest cross, now curling lower, again targets the 3.7%. If that support were to give away, Kevin allowed a deeper slide towards the 2% handle could mark a peak bull market phase, though he cautioned against speculating that far ahead. And when you can see here, he's talking about this rising channel hitting this downward trend, and then it has this massive fall in dominance. This is the dominance chart here. The technical discussion broadened to Bitcoin's hash ribbon indicator, which we show you here all the time too. There's a reason I brought this article up, guys. There's a lot of things that our community, Geo, Alex O, a lot of the people that we all gravitate around here in this circle, they're all of their pieces are coming together in this analysis. Okay, so historically, weekly buy signals have preceded 40 to 100% upside moves within 9 weeks, with what Kevin called a 100% hit rate over 8 years of back testing. That's on that hash rate ribbon indicator I'm always showing you guys. He linked the on-chain data to macro conditions, citing the real-time inflation gauge, Trueflation. He highlighted a 1.66% reading. We talked about this in our community on Discord this week. We were talking about what inflation's at, and someone dropped that in. Or maybe it was on Chart Hackers. It might have been on Chart Hackers that they dropped that. Below the Federal Reserve's nominal 2% target. So currently, Trueflation is showing that our inflation is even better than Jerome Powell's 2% target, even though the new data, which is how it's calculated differently than Trueflation, is showing us at more like 2.4%. Below the Federal Reserve's 2% target and falling import prices, both of which he argued increase the odds of an imminent shift to easier policy. If Trueflation stays below 2%, you're going to get the easing that you want, quantitative easing. I think that comes in like September, October, though. Honestly, I really do. I don't think we see that any sooner than September, most likely October. Altcoin capital rotation formed a second pillar of the bullish thesis. Ethereum's market share chart has been basing at 2019 and 2020 lows, with monthly MACD and the RSI and market cipher signals all turning up. Early reallocations into ETH beta names such as Chainlink and Uniswap are already up 60% from their accumulation zones, meaning this is where people were buying a lot, then that's this bottom zone, and now it is up 60% from that area in some of those swap overs, right? So, turning to Bitcoin itself, Kevin acknowledged that the benchmark still faces substantial resistance. Price must clear the March record and then 112 to 116. We'll talk about that level in just a second on my chart. And then ultimately 120,000 before thin air opens a path to 140 to 150, 140K to 150K. The total three index, similarly, the market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum needs a daily close above 877 billion. So there's a lot of, we need this, and this. A lot of things need to fall into place for some of this target pricing that he's talking about on price action. But I think that there is some validity to this. That's why I brought it up here with you guys. Despite the optimism, Kevin repeatedly returned to the notion that conviction without confirmation is premature. You can believe all day long that this is happening, but if you don't see the data support that, right, then don't check your bias at the door. That's basically what he's saying. You got to see confirmation and confluence. We need to see real deal price action. And noting that Bitcoin's daily RSI has not reached the 90+ euphoria zone since 2017, he called the post-March tape downtrending crappy price action. In closing, the analyst underscored the time sensitivity of the opportunity with the halving behind in the traditional 4-year cycle ostensibly entering its final phase. You've got 5 to 6 months of what should be elite level price action. That's the euphoria stage. So I want to jump over here and talk about on my chart this level that I've been watching here. Let's go back here. There we go. He was talking about that 116 to 118, and then he said 120. Guys, look, that would be the 0.66 here on my golden pocket trend-based fib extensions, which has historically been our top zone with the exception of 2017, right? Look at 2017, we had a rally up. But I want to show you guys, this is a logarithmic chart here. If I put this measurement on that top line, that 0.66, and we run it up, that's a 75% overshoot on the golden pocket. What would a 75% overshoot look like on this current level if we break that 117 to 833? 75% would be, let's see here, where we at? That would be about a $205,000 Bitcoin. Another chart that I want to show you on here, just to put this into the overall perspective. Let's turn off tops. There we go. And then let's go into the fib cycles and talk about this. Wow. Look, yeah, we were a little early on this level here. We didn't come all the way down to it, but this is absolutely playing out on this repeat pattern here again. But guys, this is pulled from highs to low of each cycle, and it kind of gives you this projection and your accumulation zone. Accumulation zone being down here in the 0 to the 382 zone, and then you get support there. It moves into the 786, and if you break the 786, you're typically going to go to the 1. Let's go back here and look historically in 2017 what happened there. Actually, we can go all the way back to the beginning. You can see here, once we break this zone and we hit that 1-to-1, we've almost always gone to the 1618. Okay. If we go over here, look at that again. We come in, we hit the 1-to-1, pulls back a little bit, goes up, hits the 1618. This one actually even went as far as to hit the 236. So back here in the last cycle, 2020, take a look at that. Let's get rid of some of the brush marks here. Clean it up. Clean it up. There you go. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. We come in. We have our resistance at the 786. We come in. We break the 1-to-1. We get a double top on the 1618. So let's go and just measure where that would be at if we go have this continuation cycle. We hit our 1-to-1. We pulled back cleanly to the 786. Our target on here should at least be the 1618. Without fail, we've always hit that level in a cycle. Okay. Looking at this level right now, guys, that's coming in at like 166,000. So some of these numbers that he's talking about might seem, a little this, and this needs to take place in order to get this price level. But those price levels are still not as high as what we have historically seen when you look at fib patterns over cycles. So would not be surprised to see us continue on past that $137,000 mark. That would be how much from that level? Let's see. Let's go to 137. There we go. There's 137 up to the 1618. It's only a 23% extension past that. And again, if we are to do what we've done in the past and break that 6.6 level, that historical fib levels of trend-based fibs from market low to market high to market lows, guys, this data here, this data right here that's for this cycle top that we pulled here, this is actually coming from all the way back in 2018. So this data is 2018 to 2021's high to the low of 2022, pulling a trend-based fib, 3-point pull, which would be like from here to there to there. And that gives a trend-based extension of where we have hit now. And you can see even back in March when we hit this thing, or December 2024, I should say, when we hit this thing, that was where we got our pullback on the 618 right there. Now we're looking at the 66, and if we break this, then we have to consider that an extension past that is extremely possible. Why? We've seen it before. That's why. So that's what we're seeing there. That's what I'm watching on that. OC, your thoughts on everything that we just went through, like this levels of resistance. Like we know 113, I think it's like 113.4, going to be a key level for us to get through. And then, of course, 117,833. That's my golden pocket there. But we're kind of sitting in the middle of that zone on that other fib chart for that 1.618 versus that one level one line that we broke through a while ago. So, um, do you think that the bull run's just starting? Is this euphoria moment just starting to take place for us, or where are we at in the cycle? How close to the end of the cycle do you think we are right now?
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
You can't handle the truth.
Don't know what
So, I mean-
they're doing.
So I mean, right now we're in uncharted territory. There's just no way to know, right? We could be at the same cycle that before, where you just flop right now and then we just go to the bear market, which I don't think so, right? And we've been talking about that for a little while. But also, it is true that if we take a look at your so far having been broken chart of Phipps resistance, we should be topping out at this point, or very close to topping out, right? So I think that we still have one more rally to go up, and that will be decisive. I think that at this point, we just don't have enough information to predict where it's going to happen, and it will depend at the end of this month. So what could we be expecting? There's three scenarios in my head that can be expected, right? Right now, bursting through, going to 116 or something like that, right? So somewhere around that 113, 116, somewhere around that ballpark, and hover over there, right? That will be, I would say, an okay scenario. Why? Because we hover over there for a little long, and then we come back down, but we hover over there and then we create a higher low, at least higher than 100K. I think we're good to go for the actual break off the cycle and just be pushing to, yes, we're just getting started with the bull run, because that was talked about a good a chunk of market cap flowing out of somewhere into Bitcoin, right? And that flowing out somewhere, well, money sadly can be printed at will. So if that coincides with the printers going brrr once again, if Jerome Paul accept that, we might be seeing that influx coming out of nowhere, right? And it's not coming out of nowhere. The value is coming out of the value of the dollar per se, if that makes sense. So we're inflating the dollar, right? And then we're deflating or pushing that value into Bitcoin, which is not inflationary. Or if something happens, like for example, Tesla, let's just say like Tesla drops back down because of a political conflict, well, then where is that money is going to go? Well, might be going to Amazon, might be going to, I don't know if SpaceX might be launching soon. All right. I've heard some rumors.
Might be going to Circle.
Yeah, going to Circle, going to the ETF. And I don't think this is going to leave the actual stock market. The way that it's going to be influxing into Bitcoin is through the ETF, right? So either way, it's going to be influxing into Bitcoin as a proxy. And that means that the ETF holders need to get more Bitcoin. Therefore, it's going to do a chain reaction. The worst case scenario will be just pushing right now to 116 and having a sharp rejection out of that area, right? 115, 116, 113, and having a sharp rejection out of that area. I think that will be the worst case scenario, and then creating a dead cat bounce right below or right at 109. So I think
that's interesting.
One of those three scenarios. Yeah.
That's interesting because if you take a look here, this is the Bitcoin halving cycle profit thing. So basically it gives you your DCA entries, right? And then when you hit the zone, you're supposed to start looking at profit taking in chunks, right? As you go on. But if you take a look at where we are in the current cycle, okay, let's bring this down. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's go in here and talk about this level here, okay? We are looking at this last month starting, the second to the last, starting August 4th, okay? We're currently in July right now. So we've got less than a month before we hit this last two. I'm just going to measure this section here. I'm just going to measure the last two blocks of this period. By the way, this would end around the 20th to the 27th of October would be the top, according to this, up through November 3rd. So that window is the end of the cycle. Okay. Let's just go back and look at what has happened to price historically, even with pullbacks in there. Okay. We're going to measure this of where we are right now. We're right in here. Okay. And we're going to go to the upside. That's a 57.5% move to the upside. That is a 11% move to the downside. Okay. We have the cycle back here. We come
That's
into
what I'm
there.
hoping for.
We have a move all the way to the upside here of 334% from where we currently are. But to be fair, there was a downside move there of about 35% in that cycle also. Actually, we had no, it's there. What was that move? What's that move? That is a move to the downside, 27%. 27% move to the downside, and then a 300% move total. Let's go back here and look at this previous cycle. We're about right here. This had a downside move of 53% to the downside way back in 2013. Okay. But if you take a look here from that bottom to the top, that was still a 100% move to the upside. So overall, man, if no matter which cycle you look at, even if we had that 50% move, which I don't think we would, just to be clear, I think that was when nobody knew what Bitcoin was and there weren't ETFs waiting around drooling for some cheaper prices, right? If we move that down to a 50% move, that would be down into this cluster here, okay? We would never hit that. I think we would get absorbed up like crazy, okay? But from that level, 100% move, 100% move from that level would still be a price range of about $135,000. So overall, I don't think that this stuff is crazy that you're talking about, that they're talking about. It's just a simple matter of looking at these historical take profit zones and what has happened in the final stretches. That's what he was talking about, the real bull run. Lunar Beach has said the bull run started at 15,000. True. But the euphoria phase where you get these absolute blow off tops, that's still in the time period to come ahead. And yes, while I did think that the golden pocket playing out there was our top, guess what? I said, to change my mind, to change my analysis, we need to retake and prove this as support and break this level. We're on the cusp of that. And so therefore, analysis cycle 101, we have new info. We have reconfirmed new data. We start the process over. And now we have to lean into the idea that 137,000, 167,000 Bitcoin is a reality. And we are in the window for that to happen according to that cycle of profit time zone. So that's all we got time for today, guys. What's that?
What do you say that
500K?
500K Bitcoin is a reality? What? Did I hear
I did not
right?
say that.
Right?
I did not say that. I think that's a pipe dream, and you know the kind of pipe I'm talking about. Pipe dream. Anyway. OC, I love you, man. All right, guys, that's all the time we got for today's show. We're gonna head over to Crypto Princess. She had a premiere that started a little while ago, and I want to make sure we get over there. Cassius Couvet on interview with Crypto Princess. So, guys, appreciate everyone joining us here today. Don't forget, are you live today, OC?
Yes, I'm going to be live today. Both right now I have a class, and then today at late night, we're going to have the next episode. And yeah, yesterday we did fantastic. We did great, and we're going to be looking for possible entries tonight.
Awesome. So yeah, guys, make sure you tune into OC Trade Live with OC tonight. Shout out to F2 Financial Failure. I see you there, bro. Appreciate you coming by. And check out OC later on today on the stream. Check out Markets After Dark tonight with Lunar Beaches Crypto. Tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back here with Good Morning Crypto, giving you your daily setup, and we'll be here to spike it home for Friday with OC and I at the Morning Market Report, bringing you guys your news, your charts, your data, your headlines, your macroeconomic, everything that you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management, and peace, love, profits. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.